and empower. A lifestyle change. Developing discipline. Triathlon training. 75 Hard. The personal trainer experience. Alright, welcome to the Mom Bod Pod, all things motherhood, all things fitness. Today I'm going to be talking about a program called 75 Hard. So, what is 75 Hard? Basically, this is a program that was designed by someone named Andy Frisella, and it's a program that's put together to build mental toughness. So he has a few tasks that you have to do, handful of tasks that you have to do every single day consecutively for 75 days straight. If you miss out on any of these tasks, you immediately have to start back over at day one. There is no cheating, there is no excuses, no compromises. You do the tasks exactly as they are, or you start all over, or you fail and tap out of the program. So here are the tasks that he provides. It includes 2 45-minute workouts, and one of these workouts must be outdoors. He also explains that these workouts cannot be back-to-back, so separate them anywhere between a 2 to 4 hour time frame. Requirement number 2, drink a gallon of water a day. So that's going to be 28 ounces a day of water. So, then we've got 10 pages, and this needs to be 10 pages of a non-fiction book. So not like a novel, not like a story. Non-fiction, he specifically tries to say like business, entrepreneur-like books, but self-discovery books are also really great for this as well. Task number 4, you need to follow some type of nutrition plan. And this is a pretty vague one because everyone's nutrition plan looks a little bit differently depending on what your goals are. So some people, although may want to count macros, some people may want to go on a keto, some fad diet. So everyone has a little bit differently in terms of what their nutrition plan looks like. But you have to follow it by having no cheat meals and no alcohol as well. The last task is going to be take a daily progress picture. So you combine all those tasks together. You have to do them all every single day for 75 days. No excuses, no compromise. So why do I think that this is such a beneficial program? So one, you have a lot of stuff that you have to do in the day between juggling 2 workouts, whatever you're doing during the normal day, where if that's work or juggle children. Then you have to add in your 2 workouts. You have to add in time to take in that water because you're constantly managing it. Time to plan out, to read your nutrition plan. You have to think that through constantly, every single thing what you eat. Sometimes that requires meal prepping. And then can't forget take that daily progress picture, which that's not a huge big deal, but all the other things require a lot of time management. So you learn to get better with your time and move about your day to where you are maximizing your time. So I really, really like that aspect. I get a lot of personal trainer clients who are like, oh, well, I just can never find time to come to the gym. Lousy excuse. This helps put that into gear. So second reason I like this is I think that it pushes you to do hard things. Okay, you know, this is obviously called 75 Hard, but so it pushes you to do these hard things because it is hard to get all of these consecutively in every single day for 75 days. It's hard because sometimes it's just going to become super, super boring. So you got to push through that battle. Sometimes the time management is hard. Sometimes it's like a struggle to drink. You're like literally almost drowning yourself. So there are a lot of hard things you have to do in this challenge. But I think it ties into if you do these hard things physically, you can do hard things mentally. Remember, this is gaining that mental toughness. Mental toughness, you're going to need to be able to do hard things mentally later on in your life. So this is going to be preparing you for those types of life instances that we know everyone takes on in life. So this gives you an upper hand to be able to handle those types of future situations better. Number 3, I think this is coming from a personal trainer perspective. I think this is great for getting someone physically active as well as exposed to a wide range of fitness options out there because, you know, you're exercising 2 times a day. So you're going to be hitting that cardio. I would recommend hitting like strength training, resistant training, some type of other types of training. But also I think this is a great opportunity for someone to basically see all the different types of fitness. Go take a CrossFit class, go take a boot camp class, go take a yoga class, go see what Pilates is. Like, go do different things and kind of see What is your big thing? I think staying a student is super, super important. And this is a time where you have to work out anyways. You have to do 2 times. So you might as well just make the most of it. So I love that aspect of it. And then, of course, 75 Hard with all the requirements, it benefits your overall health, okay? But not only that, I think that it improves my mood significantly when I'm on this type of program, when I am following this plan, when things become routinely, I'm forced to take care of my body, like I am maximizing my day, I'm maximizing my mind, everything is just at level 100 and it is flowing incredibly. So, improves my mood, my overall health. Now, I said that it improves my overall mood, my overall health. So yes, I have taken on 75 Hard before. Let me go into a little bit of story time with my experience. Basically, the reason I wanted to do 75 Hard was I was at a point in my life where I felt kind of at a cap. Like I had this understanding, if you've ever heard my podcast episode, my aha moment, I had this understanding that I was meant for more. And I was currently pursuing this journey that I thought was that more. But then when I attained it and hit that goal, I realized, okay, it's actually more than just this. It's more than just this. So what I thought my goal, overall purpose was to be like the head club trainer, help a bunch of women one-on-one Monday through Friday. And that was just what I was designed to do because I got to be on the front lines of helping someone's lives. But I was capped at that. And once I got that cap, I realized, okay, you can do more. But I didn't know what that more was. Okay, I knew I needed to do it, but I had no idea what it was, what I was supposed to do. So because I didn't know what that was supposed to do, there's a term called your bitch voice. Okay, and so basically your bitch voice is what tells you you can't do things, you shouldn't do this, you're not good enough, basically talks you down. So my bitch voice was telling me that since we don't know what we're going to exactly do, we should not risk it. And so I wanted to do 75 Hard because I wanted to be confident enough that even though I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to do, I needed to be able to risk it. I needed to tell my bitch voice to shut up and do it anyways. So I needed to be stronger. So that's why I wanted to do 75 Hard. Now, start my journey. I'm 3 weeks in. In that 3-week time span, I was also reading this self-discovery book that just was really changing my mindset with it. So I was physically changing my body. This book was helped changing my mindset. Like everything was just kind of flowing. And in just 3 weeks of really getting into this program, I noticed a lot of changes just in that time frame. There was something as simple as I was at a juice stop and I was just leaving the door and I noticed that the car next to me, their little plastic part that came off of their straw flew off in the wind and it was stuck in the bush that was right in front of our cars. Like no big deal. On a normal day, I never would have went and got this trash. But for some reason, there was a part of me that was like, you need to go get that trash and you need to go throw it away because animals do not deserve that and that nature does not deserve that. So go do it. It took like 5 seconds, but that was something before this challenge I wouldn't have even thought. I honestly wouldn't even like really had that on my radar, even be thinking about something like that. But because of the 75 Hard, I developed like this want to like give back to my community, help things out. And so I started picking up trash. I just tried to help towards different causes. I was super aware. And when I mean aware is when I went into 75 Hard, like I said, I felt capped. So I also describe this as like a box mindset. So I was thinking, go to work for someone else, to their company, to their business, whatever it was, go to work every single day, do my job, X time to X time, leave, get paid. That's it. But then I started thinking outside this box. To see, even just in these 3 weeks, I started thinking that, what if there's something else that I could be doing? What if I'm showing up every single day, still wanting to help the people that I would be helping if I was in that box, but helping them in a different type of way, helping maybe more, helping in a different way. Like there were just a lot of things that started like coming out where eventually I feel like my mind literally broke through that box that I had on it and I had infinite ideas and possibilities. And remember when I said my bitch voice was telling me that I shouldn't do this because I don't know what it is, so I shouldn't risk it? Well, now I felt confident in the things that I knew. Like, I knew what I should be doing. Like, my mind suddenly broke out of this box. And I was like, all right, like, let's go. And that was the first moment I realized I was gaining my confidence. I was gaining my mental toughness. I was able to tell my bitch voice, hey, you know what? No, we are going to risk it. Andy Frisella talks about in his book that you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations in order to succeed. And that was like, all right, that's what he says we got to do. We're on this program. We're seeing the benefits. Let's do it. So fast forward a little bit, day 23. Now, little thing you should know, I was a personal trainer. So I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, be at work at 5, run a 5 and 6 o'clock hour long boot camp sessions. I would normally have this hour break at 7 a.m. And then I would come back an hour later and I would finish 3 more classes after that. So I was working out generally anywhere between 30 to 40 hours a week, just teaching people exercise, as well as then my own additional 2 hours a day. So I was exercising a lot whenever I was doing this challenge. That 7 a.m. time frame between my morning and my early morning and my late morning sessions, I would normally try to crank out that 45-minute outdoor workout. So I would go run around the neighborhood. It was a super nice neighborhood. I got to see the sunrise every single morning. Loved it, but it was in the middle of winter. So that kind of sucked, but life sucks sometimes. You still got to keep going. So that's kind of what that taught me specifically. But that's when I would get my outdoor workouts. And I remember this day specifically. I ended up having a meeting at that time frame and I forgot until that day. So last minute, I had to be able to improvise and make adjustments. So I rearranged my day. Once I finished work, I was going to go home, nap a little bit, crank out my first workout. Then I was going to eat dinner, kind of recover, do my second workout later. An added thing I added with my 75 hard is I wanted to get in touch with my roots. And what I mean by my roots is this entire journey started from the love of yoga and basically the experience that I had with yoga. I definitely recommend you listen to my podcast where I talk about hot yoga and my mindset and my aha moment. But basically, one of my things was I wanted to get in touch with my roots. I wanted to get back into hot yoga and I wanted it to become at least weekly thing in my normal schedule. So my first 45-minute workout, I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a hot yoga class because I don't really have a lot of time to go program a workout and kind of see and go to the gym and do all these weights to where I feel satisfied. I only have X amount of time, so I'm going to go take a class, let someone teach me, I show up, I go, boom, done. So I'm used to taking 45-minute to an hour warm flow yoga. So this is where the room is anywhere between 97 degrees and 100 degrees. And mind you, I was pretty familiar with the different poses, so that wasn't like a big thing to me. But I fucked up. Okay, so I signed up for the wrong class. Mind you, what I was used to, I actually signed myself up for a 90-minute class. That was like an authentic yoga style. So it was suddenly 105 for 90 minutes. This class was specifically called 26 and 2. So you did 26 yoga poses and you did them 2 times through. This class also had a lot of breathing work that came with it. So very, very authentic. Super hot. Okay, I know you're thinking like it was only 5 degrees hotter than what you think. That made a big difference. Okay, it made a difference, let me tell you. But we're getting started. We're doing our breathing work. You do about 20 to 30 minutes of just solid meditative breathing work at the beginning of this class. Then you start doing your poses and whatnot. And remember, we got 26 poses, so running them through 2 times. So we go through pose number 1. Suddenly, I lose vision in my eyes. I lose feeling of my body. I am just paralyzed. I am standing there just absolutely paralyzed, but I could still hear. So mind you, I know what these yoga poses are. Like when the instructor is saying them, I know the names. I used to be a yoga instructor, so I know what these names are. I've been doing it for 6 years. So I didn't really have to see him to know what we were supposed to be doing in the class. So I didn't want to draw attention to myself, let me just say this real quick. Okay, if this ever happens to you when you're working out, stop working out. Okay, stop working out.
Take some deep breaths, get some water, sit down, relax, okay? Because I'm gonna explain why. But definitely do not do this story, but this is important. So even though I blacked out, my entire body felt like if it was paralyzed. I couldn't have feeling in it, but I could tell my mind to move it. So I was still doing these yoga poses while I was unable to see anything. So that happened for a little over 20 of the 26 poses. Now, I should have left the first time. Like I said, I didn't. Please do leave if that ever happens to you. But I didn't. I kept going. I ended up finishing the entire 90 minutes. I was having a serious battle with pride literally the entire time. My ego was out the roof. Should not have done that. Because fast forward about 12 hours later, I ended up in the hospital for off and on for 2 days from a heat stroke. So it is not worth it if you ever get into that situation. But happened to me. So of course, because I'm in the hospital for 2 days, I was not able to be consecutive on my 75 days straight. So I failed the program. Now, I wanted to redo this program, but basically my doctor said that I was not healthy enough and I was not in the right condition to do it, as well as my work environment was not suitable for what had happened to me, as well as to uphold this challenge. Like, it was too much on my body specifically. So he's basically telling me that I can't do this challenge. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I guess I'll listen to you. So I listen to him. He tells me, just work on regaining your strength, work on regaining your health. For the next week, I'm doing it. I'm doing this. But for the following week after that, I was actually still having those blackouts. So like I said, I exercised during work. While I was working, I was having these blackouts in the middle of class. And it kind of opened my eyes that this job jeopardizes my physical health. I'm a single mom. I have a daughter to take care of. I have these purposes that I'm supposed to fill. I have friends. Like, I have to care about myself enough to where if my job is literally destroying me physically, it's not worth it. So I made some choices, and I feel like I was able to make these choices just by the 3 weeks that I had. But you know how I said I gained that ability to tell my bitch voice to shut up and that I should just risk it? That's what I did. And I was like, okay, like, this is the time. This is the time. You've been learning how to work on your feet and keep going and keep going. Like, this is when it happens. So it was about a month after my heat stroke that I had decided I needed to quit my job. So I ended up quitting my job, and I decided that I was going to launch my own one-on-one training platform so I could hit a worldwide range of clients. I was going to start a podcast so I could still maintain communication with my current connections that I have made throughout my fitness journey and grow as well. So basically, the podcast is going to help tie in the online virtual trainer, because if you've ever been in a one-on-one personal training session, you don't just talk about fitness or exercises, okay? If you have a good personal trainer, y'all are getting personal, okay? That's what you pay for. So this kind of ties into that, okay? We're able to maintain that relationship of if we were in person one-on-one, but from a podcast perspective. So when that idea clicked in my head, I was like, all right, we're going to run with that, because we're going to run with it. That's what we're going to do. And I decided that when I was in the process of creating that is when I needed to start my 75 hard journey again, because I knew that my bitch voice was, one, probably going to try to come back. Two, I knew that that was a big transition that I was going to be doing. And I needed to have a secure foundation. I needed to have as much of my life solidified to a schedule as possible. So that's why I decided to go back into it. But this time I wanted to do it even better. So it took me about 2 months to get my health back on track to where I was cleared to do the 75 hard challenge again. But like I said, I was going to do it better. So all the things that I benefited from in that 3-week time span made me know that this was at least a solid program that I needed to share with people. So one of my biggest passions is helping moms, okay? My fitness was so beneficial in helping me as a mom, in my mental struggles as being a mom and being a single mom, going through just life struggles. It was so incredible. And as a personal trainer, the one thing I really saw was that was pretty common for a lot of moms, that sometimes their fitness was the only escape that they got. And I loved that I could be a part in bettering themselves, both physically and mentally, at the same time. Like, that was what I absolutely loved, because I understood it and I was good at it. So I decided to make a support group, a women's support group for our 75 Hard Challenge, where basically I just posted, would anyone like to go on this 75 Hard Challenge with me? These are the requirements. I understand a lot of you are skeptical because of that 45-minute workout. That's what I got a lot of. People don't know what to do in the gym, so they just don't do it. And so I offered to give free personal training recommendations for workouts and nutrition just for free, just to help them get along this, because this is how important I think this is. I wanted people to be able to do it. So I didn't want the fact that they didn't know what to do in the gym be a reason that they didn't take on this challenge. So I wanted to help them. So made the support group, and I got 20 women to sign up for it. Currently, we are 10 days in to our 75 Hard, and I've got about 16, 17 ladies who are kicking it strong. There have been a handful of us who have had to restart over at day 1. That's okay. That's actually pretty common. I'm starting number 2. So like, there's people who have to restart this often in order to actually become successful at it. But the thing that I love the most is that they keep trying. They see the value. So many benefits that can come with it. We're only 10 days in. One of my favorite things that I'm doing so far is, when I did 75 Hard the first time, it was winter. So it was just really cold. And I didn't really go on like trails and whatnot because slippery ice, I wasn't trying to do that. But this time around, it's springtime. So things are prettier. It's warmer. I'm going to different environments. You know, I'm doing a sidewalk one day. Maybe I'm going to a mountain trail the other day. Maybe I'm going to go run the dam on the lake. Like, I'm doing a lot of different types of things. So I really, really like that as well. I'm in a new city. So I'm getting to try to kind of see what trails are in different neighborhoods and get a feel for that. But there has been a lot of rain. I think for these 10 days, I think 7 of them, it has just been raining nonstop. I'm talking like thunderstorms. It has just been downpouring. But you know what? All my girls, they still went out and they did it. They would send me their pictures of them just drenched in the rain, and we loved it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it motivates you to take on 75 Hard yourself. You can always add me and join into our support group as well. So thank you so much for listening.